Alrighty. Hi, everybody. Welcome to, I guess, Monday Night Map Making. Basically, it's just a new idea. I don't know if this is going to catch on at all, or if anybody's even watching it at the time. I try not to look at the viewers for the sake of my feelings. Anyway, so basically, there's no real rules behind how I make a map on this thing. Basically, I'm just going to be looking up random encounters and things to do. And I think starting for this first one, I'm going to recreate what I did as for a home game that we used to have. We were playing Out of the Abyss. I don't know if you guys have ever played this before. Incredible campaign. We didn't get to finish it before the start of the channel, unfortunately, but hey, who knows? Maybe one of these days, when we're rich and famous and we have plenty of time for 2 games. Excuse me. So ideally, the start of this game is that, all of your players are stuck in some Drow prison, and then they have to escape. And after that comes 2 chapters, one of which is them just walking around in the Underdark, where they find themselves, and they're all strangers to it. They basically say, unless there's a really good reason, you shouldn't let your players be from the Underdark. This is entirely based around them exploring the Underdark to the best of their abilities, which is really fun. But chapters 2 and 3 have no pre-constructed encounters or anything else. Basically, they're just excuse me, Jesus. They're just wandering through the Underdark, and you have to come up with the encounters and explain things as they go along. It's really fun. It's really challenging if you're looking as a DM to get into it, like getting more comfortable with homebrewing and building encounters or whatever. Great thing. But so chapter 2. I looked at a whole bunch of different monsters to live inside the Underdark, and these characters are still at level 2, so it's that ever fun challenge. Like, how do you make an early level game interesting? Like, how do you make it different compared to, just players have played massive things, like massive creatures before, so kind of proud of what I did. It was really fun. I ended up settling on using as I was researching a bunch of different monsters and things that they have inside the Underdark, I came across one in particular that I really loved, and I wanted to do something with him. And it's a Boggle. That's what a Boggle looks like if you've never met him. It's a handsome fella right here. So pretty. Look at him. Very pretty boy. But anyway, that's enough talk. I think maybe we just buckle down to it. I'm going to get down to it. Alright. Good old-fashioned start of Flowscape. So, little tip when it comes to this, always go ortho first before you start gridding and changing the size of everything. Because I know when you go to the map size and you just try to change it, it becomes lots of the grid. So you're always going to want to go change your map size first, and then you want to use the ortho mod. Because after that, it locks it in as the maximum size, which is really fun. It's really fun, is what he said. Jesus. You can tell he's not used to talking live, huh? But anyways, I love Flowscape. I think this was like $20 on Steam. This is not a sponsored shoot, but for crying out loud, I love it.
And then you want to use the
So, yeah, this is Flowscape. It's a beautiful map making tool, as you can see. Some of them are pre-built things like this, and then other things like, I guess bushes. You can just use them and they randomly grow, like so. And you can adjust how fine-pointed you want it, how you want it. And then over here, it's like your size, how varied. It's incredible. I love this app. I love this program. So, I always go... Excuse me. No, not this one. That is cool though, you got a big old book or a big old turtle just swimming. Snow globe, pretty cute, I think so. But I always start with just the flat surface when I'm going orthodox. Nice big terrain, because it's got to cover the whole idea. Because it covers the whole monitor, right? And then once that's done, now you go to map, you go to ortho, boop, and then you grid it. Bam! Typically, right about 24 on the grid is how I found it. When you connect it to the monitor, that works as well. And then you gotta just zoom in Oh gee whiz, the entertainment of just slowly zooming in. I mean, how are you containing yourselves? I have no idea. Wow. Someone donated how much? Oh, wow. Alright, anyway. So you'll notice it's just sort of textured grey, but if you just raise the height a little bit further, boo! All these come in. And then you can mix them up like so. Different ones like this. If you've got dents inside the ground and you want to add water to it, you have a little riverbed. And then there's like a little mask. You can change the mask a little, which is really cute. Now, I like this one over here simply because you're going from one area to another, and like there's this crossroads that you're at, so you can have like 2 terrains just to help show progression along the path. But they also have the Underdark. Things, no real life. There's a lot of fungus growing underneath there. So, Underdark is a beautiful and creative area to get nuts. I'm so sorry I'm coughing, by the way. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's not COVID, so relax. But yeah, anywho. So, this is the blank slate of what we're doing. And then when I wanted to come with the idea for an encounter, this early inside the game for my players, I set all across the Boggle, as I mentioned earlier beforehand. So, the reason why I liked on this person is that they, for a small character, they're like an 8th challenge, or 1/8 challenge. They've got a lot of abilities and a lot of trickery to them. So having like a whole little group of these little guys can put up a lot of, because you know it's an early beginning fight. Unless you hold it inside a campaign that you're just going to strike absolute fear into your players' hearts, and you launch like something really big and heavy at them to try to survive. Then you can also like just do the alternative, you know, focus on something that'll be fun and different for them right off the bat. And I don't know, they really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun with Warren in this game because he was playing a Leonin at the time, and he was really big. It was this inside joke for the first game, so how big and buff he was. He was a Leonin barbarian, strength and con both with +3. It was wonderful, right? So yeah, the idea was I've got these little boggles and how to make them fun. They've got a lot of great abilities. They have the little boggle oil that they produce from their pores, right? Now they can make this either slippery or they can make it sticky, which is really fun. The second ability is a dimensional rift. In other words, if they can see something within 30 feet of them, they're able to create like a little portal. They can't get more than 10 feet wide on the other side, right? And then they can trap it through it. You know, it's big enough for them to stick their hand through it at some point, and then it'll emerge at the destination where they're actually making it, right? So it's a really cool little creature. So he's got his little pommel. They stick their hand out of a portal and they smack you, or they're just at your feet and they're, I don't know, trying to smack you by the ankles. They've also got this ability called oil puddle. Right now they choose it based around their pores that they release. They get to like fling it. So they can fling sticky oil or they can fling slippery oil. So these motherfuckers are delightfully mischievous. So my idea was coming along a series of like cavernous pathways that are very porous from the moisture and everything that's happening down to the Underdark. Because chapter 2 takes place in this area called the Dark Lake. It's just this massive expanse of like under subterranean lake. It's fucking wonderful. It's terrifying as shit, but it's wonderful. Yeah, and so there's a lot of moisture inside this area, and I like the idea that, you know, what's something that oil can be used for. You know, when it's sticky or it's slippery, you can fuck with your player's movement, and I like the idea that these guys can tear through interdimensional rifts. So ideally, what I wanted to do was create like a sort of causeway or a path. Where it gets really tight in the middle, and you got to make it like a dexterity check just to like try to push yourself through it properly. And then with the Leonin Barbarian being really big, because I think all of the characters were really slender. One was a skeleton, one was a tabaxi, who was very lean, very skinny. One was like a half elf. Yeah, he was just this hunking mass, and so I gave him disadvantage. In the hopes that someone, one by one, would get caught here. And the beautiful part about it is if it's, you know, 2 people have crossed and you don't know, you know, one person's going to come through, you're like, I don't know if everyone's rolling really well. What are the chances that they're all going to roll well? Got the beauty of a little dimensional rift opening up, and there's some sticky oil being chucked out there to like fuck with them, because once they're sticky and they're like trying to climb on through, they're gonna get stuck regardless, right? And the idea was, while one of them was stuck and the team was divided, and this person could really only attack 5 feet in the square in front of them instead of opposed to anywhere else, because now they're stuck, right? The excuse me, Christ. The idea was that there's like a whole bunch of little tunnels that these bottles made on the inside of these really porous rocks. So maybe they're slippery, and so they're able to like squeeze their way through to this back area, where they now wait until this narrow area, where if anything looks like it could easily be snatched or something, they snatch it, they bring it into little caves, and that's how they survive. So it's based around how the Boggle would live on a day-to-day basis. And you know, there's a big catch coming along and they're stuck, so maybe these mischievous little bastards, they go nuts. They've never seen a Leonin, they've been in the Underdark their entire life. It's a strange thing to see, so it's like exotic, they want to like take everything on them. Which isn't much, they were just prisoners, but you get the concept. You get a lock of his hair. But yeah, so that's the idea of that. So enough talk, let's get into it. So let's start with something nice and basic. We're just going to collect a series. If you hold Alt and you just mouse wheel up, things looking nice. Nice bit bigger. A nice bit bigger, he says. Actually, let's just zoom in a little bit more so these props look a little bit bigger. There you go. So my terrain size was a little bit big. So I'm just going to drop that down. Maybe about... Yeah, that looks about right for a mini. And you can always adjust. Go through, but let's have a look. So there's one particular mountain pace that I know takes up a lot of space, so that's always just great to start off with. Oh, these are really cool, like little shifting things, or whatever that may be. See, things like this is really cool. These look porous, and I think that's a great idea to have, like, a porous looking rock so it matches it right, or stuff like that. See, that's perfect, that sets the scene really well. So why don't we have that kind of leading on at the entrance, and I guess you kind of want to have the sticky situation inside the center of the map. I'm pointing at this thing like you guys can see my fucking finger, right? I'll use the mouse, still work. So I guess leaving the encounter to be primarily start at the center of the map is just fun, because then everyone has free reign. So I guess maybe a nice enter into the whole porous rock situation, so kind of here. That's really nice. We're gonna just drop this opacity just a little bit. Just a little bit, so we can have a little bit more fun looking at things. Very Bob Ross statement. And just having him over there, just to kind of fill in the area. Oh, there we go, things like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's porous as a motherfucker. There we go. Nice. So maybe that's that little nub is one area. There's every something like that. And then that'll give... Yeah, something like that's nice. Because then they're stuck there, and then people are still able to move somewhat, but you kind of want that congestion. Because it's supposed to be a very claustrophobic sort of scenario. And then, maybe... You just follow the rock a little bit. Follow it back. Let's just seal it up a bit, maybe. And then... Ooh! The music is intense. I love it. Maybe just curl it up that way. That's also a really cool idea, maybe if inside of these tunnels, when they're slippery, if you got like a gnome character, maybe they could try their best to sort of squeeze up into it. That can be kind of cute. And then maybe over there. So you kind of keep it scarce like this at first, because now you can adjust these bad boys and their size. Just have them fill things up a bit more, like you especially. Yeah, hey, there you go. That's a boy. Right there. Bam. And maybe these two as well. We could just space it out a bit better. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Once again, rise it up. Chicky chicky. Chicky chicky is the official word waster. The amount of brain farts I'm having today is fucking phenomenal. I am so impressed with myself. There we go. Maybe have a peek them out a bit, and then scooch just a bit up. No, not that up, the other up. Yeah, there you go. Lovely. So now you kind of got muscle space. Maybe I can divide that up a bit. Give them a little bit more space before squishy happens. So yeah, if that's the size of the miniature and they're trying to go through it. Excuse me. You can leave them stuck here, and then it kind of still gives space for the minis to sort of move about. Or your tokens as well. If you're using this for Roll20, you don't gotta use the thing of it, whatever it is we're doing. Other things that I have no idea. I'm so I have to apologize. I have no idea why I'm this inarticulate. It's inexcusable and embarrassing. I need to drink more of my THC soda. Nice. So that really kind of helps. I just go ahead and use that little green arrow that sits on top of the model like that, and that just adjusts its height. And the higher it is, means the further past the ortho grid. And so, kind of want those lines to be hidden, so then they know that terrain is kind of impossible, right? There you go. That's kind of cute. And then they could offer a little bit of cover there, maybe one of the bottles pops out there and like throws some of the sticky goo that way. That could be fun. Like that. That's really fun because that sort of open space wall over here is pretty interesting. To like have some of the algae and the decorative like bioluminescence that comes through there. That could be fun. That could be very fun. Yeah, this should actually have a lot of fun here. I use my German voice when I want to be sassy. I've been sassy with our players now. That's what you get. Your scheduling conflicts? I hate it when they keep that glow there. That's... Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily look the color that, it typically you would want it. You want it all to be kind of color unilateral when it comes to color, which is a big word for a man who's been brain farting all day. But yeah, for the most part, there we go. Starting to see some life come to this. It's pretty fun. Whee! And whee! We could actually scooch you in one up. There we go. Welcome to the D&D Bar Browse experience. Not you. You can come just a little more up here. Let it blend for a bit so not everything looks. Alright, so we got most of the screen chopped up. We're just going to tidy up these little things. I keep pointing to the screen thinking you can see my face. Someone's over my shoulder. Just know someone will come in here and scare me. It happened during playing Resident Evil Village. The most, like, cartoon, oh my god, that just happened moment. Cat jumped in the back of the chair here and scared the shit out of me. I was in the dollhouse. And, yeah, that's spoiler free, y'all. In the dollhouse. Just a grown man in the dollhouse. There we go. Nice, so we can leave that open. This little area at the bottom here. Beautiful. So we've got something going on here. This is kind of cute. I kind of like this, right? Where my little boggles would be. Actually, I should raise these two up now. I'm looking at it. Because, yeah, we don't want those two squares. Those two squares gotta be prominent. Those little guys there. Alright, and that's where it gets started. Oh, this music. Got wrath praise, y'all. Let's have a look. Sorry, I got distracted looking at the chat. Alright. So, some of the things that happen to grow into the Underdark, and if they use things into the Underdark as alternatives for the sake of wood. There's a thing called a Zerkwood, which is basically like a giant bark-like mushroom. So, like, there's a whole section inside this book where, let me just find it for you quickly, because it's fucking cool. We're nerding out and we're chilling and we're not in a strict time, right? We can just relax for a little bit. Relax and create. I think that's nice. That's the kind of world I want to live in. Where you can relax and create. Oh yeah, there we go. It's page 23. There's an entire thing about the fungi of the Underdark. It's incredible. It's all different kinds of fungi that you can get. It's little cool pieces of artwork. The artwork in this book is fucking phenomenal. Like, they've got concept art for, like, Drow fashion, and what Drows wear, what Dwarg are wear. It's incredible, man. But yeah, so there's a whole bunch of different fungi over here, and typically they serve as the source of life. If the characters don't have dark vision, they are kind of bugged unless they start harvesting these things. So why don't we go ahead and just start planting a few mushrooms. Make them as big as we can, yeah. Oh, they're not really growing out too big over here. Okay. But you know what? That's fine. Because we are one smart cheese. Okay, you are not a fungi, but you're a fungi. There we go. So we can just delete. Him, however, we are not deleting. We are going to turn you down a bit, big boy. There we go. Hang on. Let's bring you more center. Woof! This is a hunk of chunk of mushroom. There we go. So it's kind of like stalky, so it's basically like a tree. So it might just be a good idea to... Let's rotate this individual. Yeah! And then we can have like a whole bulbous collection coming out that way. That could be fun. I'm just going to drop him down a little bit. Let's just raise you up a little bit. Oh! God, he's gorgeous. Look at you! Big ol' ugly mushroom. I love you. Yeah. I like this song. It's all royalty-free soundtracks, by the way. Thank God for that. I don't think anyone here doesn't know what the nerves of copyright strike are like. Damn, alright, it's just more. There we go, more mushrooms. See how lucky we get? No, and then you just want to make fun stuff and the world realizes it's okay. You get fun stuff. That's kind of cute. Like a little mushroom guys. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and copy them. Real quick, paste. Let's just mess with them a bit. Oh, look at that. There's a whole bunch just growing up like that. I love that. It's so much fun. Yeah, look at that. Big old mushrooms. Glorious and gorgeous, and I love them. Okay, we got enough for you, young man. We definitely don't need trees. Oh my god! This mushroom won't leave us alone. No. No. Oh! My word, I don't know what you are, but I love you. Like a big old lily pad. But I love it. From afar, that looks like a mushroom, and that'll play for me. Look at that, you can get that motion, so if you end up printing this, excuse me, recording this as a 3D image, then bam, we've got some motion. I'm going to add some of that somewhere. Let's just, Put you up, sir. Yeah, just don't want to kill the mushroom over there. Look at that. Hey, I like that. Cutie pie. Alright. What else we got? Nope. No bushes. No bushes. No trees. No bushes. Not this mushroom. Not that tree. Not that tree. Starting to think the variety I thought I had with this isn't what it's dropped up to be. I swear there was more. Oh, doesn't seem so. Oh, hang on, I think we got some visitors. Alright, boys. You guys want to meet my Cody in? Whatever? Oh, buddy, say hi. Oh, come say hi to you. Here's him. This is Whiskey. Oh, usually he's more friendly. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you, baby. Gus, you want to come? Alright, the second guest spot. Come, Gus. You want to say hi? Come here. Alright. Oh, okay. This one's a little. He was too chunky to pick up. So you can imagine just how cute that is. Alright, so let's just see if I can find myself. There we go. Got a little mushroom over there. And now, wow! Big old mushroom. What are these guys called? The Spindica indica, whatever. They've got some kind of name, right? The Spindica indica. That was a sentence I chose to have come out of my mouth. There we go. And I'll just copy and paste. Just paste just a few of these just so we can make our own little colonies. From like different angles. Maybe he's just a little taller. A little bigger like that. It's not room. Okay. Maybe we rotate him. Okay. There we go. That's kind of cute. Might be a little bit more rotated for a top down. There you go. There you go. Something like that. Yeah. That's what's up. I love it. Choop choop. Chop and change. Now, let's make some small looks. Plenty of large ones here, but we need to believe that there's small little muskies growing all over the place. He's actually perfect. So just chew, 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 chew. Oh yeah. Sit more comfortably. I don't know why I got so intense there. Alright, not just you. Come along, you. What we do? Oh, that's kind of fun. Maybe they're kind of just sprouting under the same dude there. You can be dropped just a tidbit. Yeah. That looks kind of cute. Oh, spawning out. I like that. I'm not mad at that. Bam, bam. Let's get some of these bad boys out. There we go. Let's just move these guys to a little bit more. Like they're starting to come down. Making their way down this kind of ridgeway. So close to pointing. But hey, who gives a shit? I'm enjoying myself. And there's no one here. There's no one even here. So who gives a crap? Do what I want. Grown man. Pay my taxes one leg at a time. If you understand that reference, then we're friends. But you're not there. So. Yeah. Having different angles and everything else attached to the rocks like that is also great because it shows the helps the variety of you know, like the crevice itself isn't like a flat surface. So then it's growing on the rock is gonna grow out, you know, one way and the other way. Which is fun. A lot of fun. All of this is fun. It's no point at D&D, right? It's just the funnest fucking game in the world. Really is. Very lucky to be born in the industry, you know, in the days where it's really prevalent. Alright, so we got some mushrooms, and we can decorate these little areas later, I think. Because for now, what we can start doing... Actually, let's just copy you. Let's drop a U there. Let's make it a big one. Maybe that's too big. Let's see. The white. Come here. Damn it. There you go. This could be kind of cool. Oh, that could be kind of cool. So if we drop that in there, and it's big enough to like cover that part of the mountain. That's cute. I like that. Alright. This cough. I cannot apologize enough. Nah, I think they might be killing it at this point. That's right. Don't know if these will show up at all. Nah. Unless you're looking for them. Not at all. Yeah, that's something. Now, this is gonna do something very slight. Having all these little guys growing everywhere. Very slight. But when we move on to our next one. So let me try and not cover my mouth while I speak. Jesus. I'm very self-critical, I don't know if you noticed that. Oh, there we go. So now we got like little mushies all over the show. We go up to a really fun feature, which is the lights. Really cool, so you can change the color of the lighting. Yeah, that is really fun. We have like a little disco in here. Alright, but I think before we do that, it's always just nice to come on with it. So to get the direction, you can see like there's going to be that. So you can still fuck with it even though you're in the Underdark, you know what I mean? Because like natural sources of light are just going to reflect on it anyway, or like cast a shadow that direction anyway. So my idea is if they're coming from this area over here, and then they're trying to progress through this little section that you can see over here, is that I would love for them to be approaching something darker. So light sources behind them, which means that the further and further they get in, the more dark it's going to be, which is really cool. And then you can play with the height as well, and just have like fully crevice as such, which we can still play with, and which is just beautiful. Like if you just get the concept of it all, it's lovely. But here comes the fun part. Chance! Night. Nighty night. You change the temperature of it too. It's most likely going to be pretty dark down here. There we go. Let's go mind. Ambient light is a lot of fun to fuck with. And then you can just drop that down. That's sky brightness is the background that you see in the background anyway. Bloom is awesome to have. Wow! Like that. You're gonna want that kind of glow over there. It's also really fun to have a fog on down here simply because then you could add the color of it all just to get a little upsetting. You can do that pretty well. Let's make it nice and green. Yeah, like that. Ew! Ewy! There you go. So once again, you can add some motion to your map. There we go. Maybe a little bit more blue. Yeah, there we go. So now that it's like that, we can drop the intensity. Actually, there's just a bit. Yeah. So now you can really fuck with that because that's gonna be kind of nice. Ooh, that's spooky. Maybe we just drop the density over just a smidgen. Yeah, like that. The Underdark's coming together. Right as the music feels nice and heroic, you know? Alright. Get some green light shining from the bottom of there. Let's get some blue. We need our blue counterparts here. It's kind of cool to drop him. Something like that. Looks a little nicer than that thick green that I did there. Which now I'm regretting, so I gotta. Yeah. Sorry, I regret it. Yeah, that's what happens when you jump the gun. And I don't know why I'm jumping the gun, and I don't know why I feel like I have to rush. I don't know. This is chilled. We're having a fun time. We're doing what we like. Making games and shit. Yeah. Yeah. Might be a little bit. Yeah, like that. That's much better. Look at that. I'm gonna get a bit of red fillers here. Right. I think it works for Cyberpunk. There we go. A little red glow there. It starts to really drop down that ambient light. Look at that. That's kind of great. Alright? Let's keep it up just to help us work. There we go. I was wondering where you went to, David. Let's have a look. Drop the ambient out of it. Yeah, look at that. That's cool. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. We're getting it there. This is looking better than the time I did it for players, actually. And I would want to say, like, it's because I have more time. That's not the truth at all, actually. That's what happens when you're trying to rush things through and being stressful. And you just end up making things more of a mission than they were originally going to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's just nice to. This I know is chilled, so I sit down and have a chill time. It works out great, man. I guess. It's an energy thing, man. Look at that. It's coming along. We need a little bit by the big fella. Bottom right there. But try to tell me you're not in the Underdark now. Like, you know? And look at it, we got 3D motion in the plants, we got 3D motion in the fog. Maybe this is like a video on the cam, I think it's gorgeous. We're on a good path here. We can still fuck with bloom a bit, I guess. Like the thrift. Yeah, like that. Bloom. Oh, there we go, look at that. There we go, there we go. That looks trippy. I love it. I fucking love it. One more luminescent glow like that. Let's try and mimic that on blue one for a sec. So this looks like. Yeah. Let me do a little more of that. Because we can drop the saturation down, but this is too invasive. Yeah. Wow! That's it, and you can always just. Oh, and by the way, you can move the camera with W. So yeah, everyone knows! And insult us. There we go. So let's go back to our green here. So you learn as you go along. It's D&D in a nutshell, really. A little too much, maybe. That might not be. Yeah, and that just helps show the motion a bit of that filler. Let's try. What do we think of this filler over here? Maybe try yellow. He's tall though, so this is going to be invasive. You're gonna have to be careful with you. Things. Fucking going Super Saiyan. Look at that. I think it might just be too tall. It's kind of bugging it out a bit. Sorry, that was fun. Yeah, so it just looks like daylight. Can't have that. Fuck. Alright. A border marker plan, is this it? A border marker plan is a border marker plan is a South African term, by the way. I had one person be like, I actually really enjoyed the Divinity stream, which is rare because, I mean, no one watches those things. But, yeah, it was, one of the things was like, I really don't understand some of the things you guys say. I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. Like, it's another language. Oh, man. I wish we could tone you down. Like that. Need a little bit of blue. Maybe just one more blue down at the bottom here. Maybe that's what that needs. And we can start adding a little bit more. Mystifying Mimbo Jimbo. Oh yeah, something like that. Sounds very Guardians of the Galaxy. Probably should have put an Eclipse of one before this, actually. Yeah, not you, sir. My light. Small filler. I like that, that's nice. Yeah. Okay, so we've got like a little Underdark rave party going on here. I like that. I'm going to turn down that fog a bit though. I want to be able to see the ground just a little bit. Oh. Ambient light is next to none now. There we go. It looks like the Underdark. I'm a fan. I really am. I guess I can fuck with. Glowy and luminous. It felt like that. It's been a while. Yeah, didn't yet. Actually, maybe. That's kind of nice. Now you're honing in the luminescence. See, that looks better. This looks immediately better. Alright, I like this. It's really nice. Alright, let's add a few nice little finishing touches to this. Why not? There we go. We have a little fireflies in space. I'm going to do that just around some of these mushrooms just to add a bit of motion. Yeah, looks like little spores are coming out of them, which is kind of cute. And then, after which, of course, I'm going to drop one here and just have you be a little bigger, a little more prominent, like these guys. So we've got the small ones open now. And then takes a while for these guys to catch up, it seems. You. This guy. Alright, so we've got some little sparklies over there. That didn't actually work out the way that I wanted it to, okay? Such as life. I think I just got rid of it. got some motion. I want just a little bit more at the top there. There we go. There's someone here. There we go. That looks a little better. There you go. So now you got some spores and some things around there. We've got some 3D things. Now for a level 2 encounter map, I think it's pretty decent. I think it's pretty cool. You know? The idea that the players will ideally start here, because you've got a marching order for walking through the Underdark together. At some point, one of them's gonna get stuck here. Now, inside these guys, these rocks look nice and porous, and that's where the Boggles are hiding. And so they're able to have a look at either side of one of these things, or maybe even the pillars themselves create a little rift open and just start attacking everybody, which is fantastic. You know, anyone tries to grab their arm and pull them out, they've got this slippery oil to try to get back into the holes. It makes it really fun. Like, these 1/8 level creatures are, like, I think it's a good encounter that these guys can have their own little dimensional rifts, seeing these characters come out, do a little bit of damage, you know, and trying to get a hold of them is gonna be a little trickier, you know. Like, yeah, people can hold their actions, but once again, they're slippery, so grappling isn't gonna do anything. Yep, and so, even so, like, you know, the character holds their action to attack something, it might not be range, and if it is range, it can only happen, like, on this side over here, and this side over here, because there's somebody stuck there. So, like, visibility from one side to the other is very slim. You know, so there's plenty. So it takes a 1/8 challenge character, monster. If you're a DM, your monsters are your characters. But, you know, and it just makes it just a little bit more challenging. It's a fun encounter, and it's taxing, and because their HP is so low, what do they have? They've got, yeah, they've got like 18 HP. It doesn't take too long to knock out like a team of like 3, 4, 5 Boggles. You know what I mean? And so it's rewarding once they start thinking really well. They can plan things out. Some of them have spells. So yeah, this is the Boggle map. Feel free to, I don't know, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment down there, and I don't know, request if you have a request. I might do 1 or 2 more just from Out of the Abyss, because they've got a lake setting. So instead of just copping out and just being, oh, mobile water, it's like, let's get an island on there or something. You can have some fun with that. Maybe. But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this becomes a regular thing. I would like it to. This is fun. Moving on to, look, how long has it been? It's been about an hour. Okay. That's cute. For 1 hour's work, you got a decent 3D map for your Out of the Abyss playoff, you know, or your Underdark playthrough. And, like, there was a lot that went into it, but for 1 hour you've now got this. I'd be happy, as a player, if my team dropped this on a monitor and let me play it. I think that would be cool. Yeah. And I like this, I just really like this encounter. I think these Boggles are fucking funny, and they're really fun, you know. I mean, you could have the idea that they already use some of this sticky oil, so the characters found this like really sticky airbase. Anyway, yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you don't mind, and if you want to see more stuff like this or anything specific, comment, give me a holler. Yeah, we'll make it happen. But anyway, other than that, thanks guys. This is fun. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.